I raced the Gravel Locos gravel race in Hico, Texas a couple months ago and wanted to do a recap of how I did, mainly using the vegan cyclist footage. For my bike setup, I raced my Trek Procaliber 9.7 with a couple modifications. The first change was that I put on a 36 tooth chainring to keep me from spinning out. The second change was changing my tires from Maxxis Aspens to Specialized Pathfinders, and they were set up tubeless with orange seal sealant. The Pathfinders were awesome for this course because it was extremely fast, and the middle part of the tread acts like a road tire. So that is me right there on the right of the screen. I'm in the green and purple jersey, so keep an eye out. For the first 10 miles of the race, it was super chill because we were heading into a river crossing. I only normalized 190 watts and averaged 17 miles per hour in the group. The group did do a couple sprints out of the corners, but that was just because people were antsy to stay at the front, not because people were trying to make it hard. I'm gonna be honest, crossing this river was way harder than I expected. The rocks at the bottom would move around when you stepped on them, and the current was super strong. Luckily there was a rope so you can kinda hang on. There was a mad dash out of the river and everyone was going pretty hard to catch up back to the leaders. In reality, there really wasn't a rush, and you would have been just fine if you rode at a normal pace. This hill was the first hard part of the race. The hill was pretty steep and short. I made up a few positions doing about 420 watts average. Seeing all the big guys suffer is always awesome because they put the hurt on me on the flat, and then on the uphill I get to cruise right by them breathing out of my nose. The actual hardest parts of the race for me are these downhills, these fast downhills, and these fast flats because I'm pretty much spun out and it's really hard to get aero on a mountain bike and there's a lot more drag. I'm actually behind the vegan cyclist right now, drafting off of him on this little flat part after the first climb. And I didn't realize how big he is, but he's like above 6 feet. Also, right here, I was fighting with this dude who's like banging my bar into each corner and just like cutting me off. And eventually I got to get out in front of him and didn't have to deal with him the rest of the race. There's a lot of guys who are insecure about riding next to a 17-year-old kid on a mountain bike, so I kind of get it, but just be nice. So it's starting to get really hard right now. It's about 40-50 miles into the race. Everyone is jamming it out of every corner, sprinting, it's getting strung out. There's some high-speed downhills. You can see how strung out it is right there. There's a big gap. Just brutal. So there's me on the left, standing up, climbing. Riding behind in the red shoes right there, that's Emily Newsom. I think she won the women's race, but yeah, I'm in front of this guy in the black kit right there. There's a guy getting aero tuck, getting dropped. It's insanely fast. You can see me kind of struggling to get aero. It's hard to, because I have to keep my fingers on the brakes, and you have to keep them out on the outside, so it's kind of hard to get aero. Spinning out right here. This is just torture to watch, honestly. So this is immediately after going into the second aid station, where everyone stopped. We all filled up our bottles with, they had like some Gatorade and some water. People got like candy and stuff. And then it's pretty chill right now. Right after, there's people peeing and stuff, so that's a good spot to take it easy. So here I am descending in front of Ted King, which is pretty awesome. I think I actually, I take that corner a little bit better than him. He's got to sprint out. So that's a good skill to have. Make sure you can corner well on this course. Hop in little potholes there. I don't like to swerve in the dirt because you don't know. This corner's super fast. It's getting really fast now. Vegan cyclist is opening a gap. So leading into the next clip, I was actually in a 3-man break with Peter Stetna and the Legion guy with a man bun. I had come around this corner and I kind of just pedaled while everyone else coasted. Came around everybody, went to the front, and ended up in a break. So I am currently at the very front right now with I think Dylan Johnson, Peter Stetna, and the guy with the man bun again. And so I am way up there. The vegan cyclist is catching up. I am in front of him right now still, and then he overtakes me because I am extremely tired. Extremely gassed out. So for the rest of the 100 miles, I rode with Emily Newsom till the mile 88 aid station. Then she kind of left really fast. We were also in this, smaller group. And then once it started raining, I was all by myself. I accidentally took this wrong turn, ended up on this highway, came to the main place where the race started, and I had only done 147 miles, so I didn't go over the finish line because that would kind of mess up the results, because you can't go a different route and still finish and mess up everybody else. So the stats at the end of the ride was a normalized power of 230 watts. I finished in a time of about 8 hours, and I climbed about 9,000 feet. And by the way, the 230 watts normalized was about 70% of my threshold. It was almost 400 TSS and 17 miles per hour average speed. I used Trainer Road to train for this race, and I've actually been on their Successful Athletes podcast, so if you want to listen to that, then it'll be in the description.